So how do I use Alibaba to find products that I want to sell on Amazon?
So that's a great question. The question is, how do you use Alibaba to find potential products to sell on Amazon? The go-to online site to connect with manufacturers is Alibaba. I've been using Alibaba since 2015. When I first started using it, I actually was very nervous. I was just getting into selling online, and it's a little nerve-wracking when you're communicating with these manufacturers. They're all the way over in China, and you know, you just want to make sure, right, that it's not some type of phishing scheme. You want to make sure that the factory is actually real. And I still can remember when I sent my first bank wire, being extremely nervous. I forget the amount. I want to say it was around 5,000 or 6,000, and I was just praying that my product was going to show up like it should. And so here's a few things, a few filters that you want to go through. We think this is actually probably the most important one. When you're searching on Alibaba, you want to look for suppliers that have the gold supplier badge. And we generally recommend that you want to go with folks who have been with manufacturers who have been on Alibaba for at least 3 years or more. What does that mean? If they have a gold supplier badge and it has a number by it, that's the number of years that they have been advertising on Alibaba. So that tells you that there's some consistency there. They've been on the Alibaba sales platform for a while, and generally they're probably a legit manufacturer. So that's the main filter that we suggest that you use when you're first starting out. Go with a supplier who has at least 3 gold supplier years or more on the platform. So that's the first one. The second one is, if you're just starting out, we recommend you go with a supplier that uses what's called trade assurance. So basically that's like an Alibaba escrow program. When you make a deposit on a product, you're actually going to be sending it to an Alibaba company that's here in the USA. You'll be sending your money, the deposit, to their bank, and then Alibaba holds that in escrow until you receive your product. Now, it's not guaranteed 100%, but it is safer than just wiring money straight to the factory in China. So those are the 2 things, if you're just starting out, you really want to look at. The number of years they've been a gold supplier, and then you want to ask the manufacturer right up front when you begin communicating with them if they use trade assurance. So now the difficult part begins. You found your niche, you're looking at a product, and now you're vetting those potential suppliers. So now you have to start chatting with those suppliers. So when you're on Alibaba, there's a little chat button. You hit that and you're gonna start chatting as long as it's about 9 p.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern time. That's when the manufacturers and the sales reps are gonna be coming online. You're gonna start chatting with that sales rep and then asking them questions about the product, like what's the price per piece. So here's a little insight. When you're on Alibaba, a lot of times they'll display 2 prices when they're displaying a product. They'll display a lower price, like say $8, and then they'll display a higher price, like $12. We generally say, look, just kind of know that $12 is going to be the typical price. So as you begin chatting, right, with the sales rep, and you do find a product, and initially it looks like the margin may be there, we recommend right away that you get that sales rep either their Skype ID or their WeChat ID. We now communicate 100% with our suppliers on WeChat or on email when it comes to ordering for the production. And so you want to get their Skype or their WeChat ID, and then you want to ask them, hey, can we carry the conversation over to WeChat or Skype? And the reason you do that is because the Alibaba chat and messaging system is kind of clunky. It doesn't often, and many times it won't save the history of the chat. So by you bouncing it over to WeChat or Skype, you're gonna have a very detailed history of that conversation. And then once you get over to WeChat or Skype, then you can begin negotiating and talking, and then obviously you wanna lead up to getting a sample. So my goal now, whenever I'm sourcing new products on Alibaba, is when I start that conversation with a sales rep, I want to get to the point, that same conversation, to where I'm placing a sample order. So generally it takes about 20 minutes when you vet through everything that you're looking for with your product to the point where you are then going to PayPal that sales rep, and it depends again. So when you get a sample, you are going to have to pay money. So, maybe the product costs $10, that supplier is going to charge you maybe $75, maybe $100, because to ship in a relatively speedy time from China, it does cost money. And the supplier will always say, hey, for this sample cost, if you place a production with us, we're going to deduct that sample cost from the production order. So that's kind of how you vet and find suppliers on Alibaba. Go through those processes, make sure to always transfer over to WeChat, and then look for those suppliers when you're just starting out that have numerous gold stars, so they've been on the platform for 3 years or more, and then they're also willing to use trade assurance. I hope that's helpful. I hope you guys are having fun learning about selling on Amazon. If you already sell on Amazon, I hope you're crushing it. If you haven't liked our channel yet, please hit that subscribe button. If you haven't joined us yet in our Facebook group, search on Facebook Amazing Freedom. It's a great community full of thousands of private label sellers on Amazon. It's full of great information. Check out all of our other videos that we have here about all things selling on Amazon.